to Tailor Tales. We're going to do chapter 18. Gray Route, what are you hiding in here? My anger still lingers when I follow Gray down to the basement, feeling both betrayed and confused by his confession. With a deep breath, I try to push it down, content to let it simmer until I find out exactly what it is that he and his friends do down here. It feels important to that I know, not just because this is my building and Gray's renting the basement from me, but because we've been growing closer and closer, and I need to know the kind of man that Gray Jansen really is. Gray pushes the door open and flicks on the light, illuminating the small room. Looking around now, it still seems the same as it has always been. Then there's nothing out of the ordinary, nothing to give me a clue as to the activities this room has seen. So, what do you do down here? I turn to ask Gray, my hands resting on my hips impatiently. He ducks his head as he walks over to the bar and leans his elbow back against it before he finally sets his eyes on me. It's simple, he says flatly. We play games. Gray, I sigh, growing tired of the charade. Just not the type of games I've led you to believe. He cuts in again before I can say more. I wave a hand in front of me as a sign for him to continue talking, and I can tell by his posture that he's hesitant. After clearing his throat softly, he speaks again. Well, we play cards, poker mostly. Poker? That doesn't sound so bad, I say. I've never played poker before, but I know it's only a card game. How bad can it be? Are they betting on something? Well, there's money involved, a lot of it. The winner takes all, and the losers come back the next night, and the night after that, and the night after that. That sounds like a gambling addiction, Gray explains, and once I know why he was so reluctant to tell me the truth. It's an underground gambling ring. Ah, okay. And I'm guessing he doesn't have the kind of license required for such a thing, seeing as he's running it out of a basement of all places. I raise an eyebrow at the setup, scanning the bar and the large table in the middle of the room with a new perspective. So you're scamming people out of their money? I ask with an edge to my voice. From what I know of gambling, it's dangerous, and it can ruin people's lives in more ways than one. They come here of their own free will, Gray shrugs it off, and they can leave any time they like, provided they've cleared their debt. Sounds illegal, I say, wrinkling my nose distastefully. It is, but all the best things are. Gray steps closer to me. No, don't take his advice, guys, no. I ignore his closeness, shoving my hands in the back pockets of my jean and backing up. What do you get out of it? I continue, still curious about the setup he's got going on here. Players pay to be at the table, he explains. So you make a pretty good living from this kind of business then, I conclude. I do alright, he says with the kind of smile that tells me he does much more than just alright. Although I could be doing better. That's where Ivan comes in, he adds. I let out a heavy breath, having forgotten that one small detail for just a moment. I knew there had to be a good reason he kept him around. Gray huffs a small laugh, as if to agree. Personally, I can't think of many reasons one would have to keep a man like Ivan around. At all. He seems like more a liability than anything else. All the money that passes through here is untaxed, which, as you already guessed, is illegal, Gray explains. Ivan takes care of that side of the business. He launders the money, makes it look legitimate, while I run the games and bring in the big players. The system has been working for us for years, and in the end we both walk away with our pockets full, he finishes. What does your bank account look like? How do you deposit, huh? Doesn't it look a little sus? You just depositing large amounts every time? Something in my stomach turns sour. I have a weird feeling about what Gray is doing here, and especially Ivan's involvement in it all. My first instinct is to tell him to shut it down, but I hold my tongue and think it through a little more. I'm no stranger to the wrong side of the law. But all this is happening in my building, putting my name and business at risk. Then again, Gray has been doing it for long enough without getting caught, and I trust him to keep me out of trouble. When it comes down to it, the situation leaves me torn. I'm starting to think that I should increase your rent. I don't think this is a good idea. Shut the place down. I don't know. Obviously, it's not a good idea. Because, like, what if my business booms well and, you know, news happens and they're like, oh, Aroma's boutique was actually hiding secrets in her basement. It's like, it's not good publicity for me. I don't know. I feel like I don't have a say, but I do have a say because it's my place. But, shit. It's clearly not a good idea. Would be playful or would be serious? Would be playful. I'm starting to think I should increase your rent, I say, circling the table and giving him a sly smile. I should charge for illegal activities that go on down here. Which doesn't make me any better. Means I am partaking in this. He chuckles quietly, shoving his hand in his pocket and looking over at me. I'll pay whatever you want, Gray says. And by the look on his face, I can tell he means it. I shake my head, a sign that I'm only joking. My business has been doing well enough on its own, and I wouldn't feel right about taking any more of his dirty money. Actual dirty money. With a sigh, I drum my fingers against the top of the table. I'm glad he told me about this, even if the truth is a little unsettling. Will you show me how to play? I asked suddenly, giving him my best and brightest smile. Girl, no. Well, playing, but not actually betting. Like, practice. If I'm gonna let him continue running this business of his down here, then I might as well learn more about how it works. Gray folds his arms over his chest and pins me with a firm stare. Alright, what will you bet? I hesitate. Can't we just play without bets? That's not how it works down here, he says with a shake of his head. I shrug, not willing to budge. I'm not wasting my money on a game. Let's go upstairs and play the poker game in my living room instead. That way I don't have to bet anything. A smile breaks across his face, and for a moment I wonder if that was the wrong thing to say. Strip poker it is, he grins. I'm not betting my clothes. I cry out. Gray chuckles at the sheer amount of horror on my face. Why not? Afraid you'll lose. Yes, exactly. I've never played this game before, I say firmly, folding my arms over my chest as though I might lose my shirt just by standing there talking about it. Gray looks me over, his eyes heavy-lidded and full of mischief as he drawls. Don't worry, I'll go easy on you. I don't believe you, I shoot back at him. He laughs at that. Good, because one thing you'll soon learn is that I'm extremely competitive. I pout. If that's your way of talking me into this, you're not doing a very good job. Come on, he says, giving me the best version of puppy dog eyes that he can muster. Don't you want to have a little fun? I try to resist that look on his face, but it's no use. Eventually, I sigh and drop my arms to my side. Okay, fine. We'll play strip poker, I give in, but don't expect me to go easy on you either. Girl, you don't even know how to play. This poker... Oh, no, I'm thinking of blackjack. Never mind. Gray's smile widens, like the cat who got the cream. I wouldn't have it any other way. He procures a pack of cards from behind the bar, shuffling them between his hands before he saunters over to take a seat across the table from me. We'll start off with 3-card poker. It's the easiest to learn, he declares. The rules are simple. If I have a better hand than you, then you win. What? If I have a better hand than you, then I win, and you have to remove a piece of clothing you bet. It gives me a meaningful look, though you can quit anytime you like. I'll understand if you want out. I smile quietly to myself. While it's nice of him to make me feel comfortable, the fact that he assumes I'll let him win so easily is amusing. And if I have a better hand, then I get to choose for you, I countered. We'll see if you get that far, he winks. Wait, so they get to choose what clothing you get to remove? I thought you chose yourself. Did he not say that, or did I read incorrectly? Whatever. I make a face at him and he chuckles, dealing out the cards between us. My heart is fluttering on my chest, both nervous and excited for the game. I'm not quite sure what I'm getting myself into, but I've come too far to back down now, and whatever doubts I'm having are slowly fluttering away into nothingness. My gaze lingers on Gray, on his arms, his chest, his shoulders, and I had to admit to myself that I wouldn't mind seeing more of what's beneath his clothes. Okay, girly. Without the hives this time. He suddenly looks up to find me staring at him. The look he gives me shows that he's thinking much the same thing. I'm sure you'd love nothing more than to rip my clothes off me, Chico. But we've got a game to get through first, he teases. So what are you waiting for? I say cheekily in return, picking up my cards. Gray swipes his cards from the table, but he doesn't look at them right away. Instead, he continues to smile at me in the way that makes my skin warm and my pulse quicken. I was going to suggest we start with a practice round, but now I don't think I will, he says, his voice low and amused. Suit yourself, I shrug, trying my best to appear nonchalant. Finally, Gray studies his cards a moment or two before looking at me from over the top of them and saying, I bet my left shoe. Your shoe? I exclaim, a small laugh escaping me. Well, it's the first round. I can't be betting my pants right away unless you want me to, he smirks. I mean, I wouldn't say no to the removal of his pants. However, I understand you would want to bet something low effort for the first few rounds. Alright, issue it is, I say with a sensible nod. Now it's your turn, Gray continues. Look at your hand and see if you have any of the following. And following. He proceeds to list the types of cards I might have, and as he talks, I spot a pair of queens and a 3 within my hand. If you think your hand will be better than mine, then you can match my bet or raise it to, for example, 2 shoes, he explains. If your hand isn't particularly good, then you can fold, and neither of us lose a thing. But that's not very fun, is it? I'm already getting confused, kind of. He sits back in the chair and waits for my decision, completely at ease, with that lazy grin pulling at the corners of his mouth. So what I'm assuming is if you think yours is higher, you obviously show your hand of card. And if they drop their hand of card and they're actually more, then you lose and you remove whatever. But if I decide I don't think it's higher and I fold, then we both don't get to continue? Is that right? I think that's right. I don't know, I'm fucking play card games. He sits back in the chair and waits for my decision, completely at ease, with that lazy grin pulling at the corner of his mouth. I look at my cards again, deciding what to do. From what Gray had explained, a queen is a high card, but I only have 2 of them. 3 would be better. I can possibly win this round with what I have, but it all depends on Gray's hand. Finally, I make my choice. I'll meet your wager of a left shoe. Staying in the game, huh? You're brave, Gray teases. Let's just do this. Alright, at the same time, he instructs. We both lay our cards flat on the table, and I glance over at Gray's hand, feeling the smile slowly slide from my face. He beat me. Better luck next time. What did he have? How many queens are in a deck? I don't know. Because there's the heart, clover, spades, diamond. Am I missing something? I don't know. I don't play cards. I don't remember. But I had 2. I counted 4, so I'm assuming he had 3. So that means there's 5. Alright, now I believe you owe me a shoe. I thought you were only kidding when you said no practice rounds, I protest. What are you, chicken? He laughs, adding a few chicken noises in for effect. Okay, fine. I grumble a little as I slip off my shoe and kick it aside. Ray chuckles quietly, and I can tell that he's having way too much fun with this. The next few rounds go the same way, and I find myself losing my other shoe, both socks, and then my shirt, leaving me in my bra and jeans while Gray still sits there fully clothed. You must be cheating, I say dejectedly, and as I finish adding my shirt to the pile, let me deal this time. Be my guest, Gray says as he hands over the deck. I take it from him, shuffling the cards thoroughly before dealing them out. This time, when I look at my hand, I feel the corners of my mouth twitch ever so slightly. I'll fold, Gray says abruptly, putting his cards face down on the table. What? Why? Because I've got a winning hand. You are cheating. No, girlie, I don't think you have a good poker face. This is why we cannot be here. I burst out. It's not about cheating, he tells me calmly as he sits forward in his seat. It's not even so much about the game. It's about knowing how to read people. I don't understand. You're new to poker, so you couldn't have known, but every time you look at your hand, you give away subtle indicators. I watch Gray as he speaks, seeing how he mimics my expressions. When you have a bad hand, you frown slightly. When you have a good one, your mouth twitches. And when you're unsure, that usually means your cards are bad too, he chuckles softly. It sounds a lot like cheating to me, I pout unhappily. No, I think he just knows how to read his opponent. And because you suck at poker face. He shakes his head at me, amused. I'll play my hand if that makes you feel better. Once again, we lay down our cards, and it looks like Gray was right. I finally won a round, and he's finally lost his first item of clothing. To be fair, I don't think Gray has a lot of clothes to lose anyway. Too bad it's only a shoe. Let's keep going, I say, my competitiveness getting the best of me as I take back the cards and shuffle the deck. I won't give anything away this time. Now that I know what Gray's looking for, I seem to do a little better. He loses his other shoe, his socks, before I'm stripped of my pants, leaving me sitting in nothing but my underwear. Girl, what? I thought you had a bra on too, hello? You're getting pretty good at this, Gray compliments me as I deal out another hand. I've got a good teacher, I say in return, flicking my gaze across the table to find his eyes drifting south of my face. Okay, she does, and resting on my lacy bra. When I dressed myself to go out earlier this evening, I hadn't expected that anyone would be seeing my underwear. I'm glad that I chose to wear one of my nicer sets. As I shuffle the cards and deal them, I notice his gaze falling back on me instead of the cards. And just what do you think you're looking at? I tease him. He gives me an awkward laugh as he clears his throat and picks up his cards. Just admiring that particular shade of pink lace on you, he says, wolfishly, and thinking how much better it would look on the floor. Okay, Gray. My face flushes as we lay down our cards, and I'm sure you can see it spreading across my skin. Have what be on the floor? His? He doesn't have a bra. I'm just talking about his undies. I'm not losing. My bro, I say confidently. We'll see about that, he says with a secret smile. You're always free to fold. I rock back and forth in my chair, my pride not allowing me to back off. I can say the same thing for you, I fire back. When I study the cards, my inside squeaks nervously. It's not a great hand, but I can't back down either, so I don't fold. I could back out whenever I want to, but I'm beginning to find out I don't want to. When Gray shows his hand, I let out a sigh. Gray has won yet again. What a surprise! I breathe out, my body prickling with warmth despite sitting here half naked. I would say I'm sorry, but I'm really not. Gray looks up and gives me a half-hearted shrug. Determined to wipe the smugness from his face, if only a little, I keep my eyes on him as I reach back and unclasp the back of my bra, holding it to my chest while I readjust myself. I drop it to the floor and cover my bare chest with my arm, realizing that I'm running dangerously low on clothing items. I think you only got one thing left, unless you got earrings or something. Now that I've just lost my bra, that leaves me sitting here in only my panties. One more round and this could all be over. I look over at Gray at how his knuckles are turning white from gripping the pack of cards so tight in his hands, and a small sense of triumph washes over me. Everything okay over there? I taunt him, unable to help myself. He's so cute, blushing. I don't miss the way he shifts in his chair, subtly trying to rearrange himself. If this wasn't a dead giveaway, then the pink spreading across his face surely is. Someone's getting a little too excited. He composes himself quickly, enough his eyes running over my bare skin and making me shiver. Game over, when you say, he grins. Not quite, I shoot back. Something inside of me wants him to work for the last piece of clothing. He'll have to earn it, fair and square. Ray chuckles and deals the cards once more. I make sure to keep my chest covered, awkwardly picking up my cards with my other hand and instantly feeling my stomach drop. A 3, a 10, and a king. This is some shit! I've got nothing. The grin that curves Gray's lips is positively sinful, and I want nothing more than to feel it against my own lips. I could fold. Upon looking at my hand, I know that I should, but if I do that, I'll only be delaying the inevitable. Unless a miracle happens and I win the next few rounds. And by the way, Gray is staring at me. I'm not sure I want to delay it much longer. I bet I look downwards, fully aware that there's only one bet I have left to make. My panties. Are you sure you want to do that? Gray asks, his voice softer all of a sudden. It's not too late to back out. I'm sure. I know with certainty. Gray glances at his cards again, thinking it over. In that case, I bet my shirt and my pants. That's bold of you, I say suspiciously. Something tells me I can take a chance with this round. He grins, leaning back in the chair confidently. I lay down my cards and look over at his, confirming that what I already suspected. My hand isn't good enough to beat his, and now he's won the entire game. My eyes are glued to his, my skin prickling against the invisible chill in the air. What did I tell you? I'm extremely good at this game, he says in a honeyed voice, one that seems to caress my body despite the distance between us. I can see that now, I swallow. Gray stands, his chair scraping against the floor as he pushes it back and circles the table towards me. The smile has dropped from his face, but I still see the remnants of it dancing in his eyes. Stand up, he orders me quietly. I do as he says, to cover myself with my arms. He's won the game, but to be fair, I wanted him to win. When I lean back against the table, Gray pushes my chair aside and moves in front of me. He gently takes my arms and pulls them away from my chest, staring down at my breast, my nipples peaked against the cool night air. Do I make you nervous? He inches forward, so close I feel the warmth of his breath on my lips. No, I say truthfully. What do I make you feel? All of my emotions rush through my skin, flooding me with prickly feelings. As I look up at him, he raises his hand, running his thumb gently across my bottom lip, making me melt. Warm, I say, feeling the heat of his body against my bare skin and wanting so much more of it. As if he's reading my mind, he steps closer, circling an arm around my waist and pulling me against him. Dizzy, I add as he pushes my hair back from my face and my eyes get heavy and half-lidded. When his skin brushes mine, I get this wild tingle that shoots through me, straight to my chest. And afraid, I say at last. What are you afraid of? He asks me, his eyebrows dipping in concern. My stomach tightens as the thought runs through my mind at how it would devastate me if they were true. that you hate me. Now that you know who I really am, I confess in a whisper who I was. Are you dead ass right now? I don't think he would do this if he hates you. Gray takes my chin between his fingers, tilting my face towards his. I get swept up in the intensity of his gaze as he stares down at me. To be honest with you, I was more afraid that you'd hate me. After finding out what I do down here, he admits. That would have killed me. I could never hate you, I reassure him quietly. Oh shit. Did I kiss him first? Because he looks a little shook. I barely had time to take in a breath before he... Oh, no, he kissed us. Before he's kissing me, his fingers threading through my hair to cup the back of my scalp with his hand. Tiny shivers rush through my body, tightening my stomach and curling my toes against the cold basement floor. My skin feels hot and needy, my arms locked around his neck as I pull him closer, needing the gap between us to become non-existent. I moan into his mouth as he pushes his hips into mine, pinning me against the table with his body. His tongue pushes into my mouth, demanding access. I let him take the control. He so desperately wants, and he kisses me harder. Can you close your eyes, Gray? It's kind of little... This is what we've been building up to for weeks now, and the intensity between us is so overwhelming. I wonder how we've taken this long to break. I constantly find myself drawn to Gray, like two sides of a magnet coming together, and when his hands are on me, the feeling only intensifies. Down in the basement that I almost never rented to him, the two of us take things all the way. Gray's dominant, though I'd never expect anything less from him. The way he takes what he wants, while making sure I'm thoroughly sated, turns me on like nothing else. It's electric and intense, and when it's over, I feel like something has shifted between us. So, like, do you like me? Can you imagine? I asked that after all that. After we manage to disentangle ourselves from each other, I collect my clothes from the floor, taking my time with dressing myself and enjoying the afterglow that comes from sex. Oh, hot damn, bro. When I turn back to Gray, I find him watching me with a smile, pulling up his pants, his face flushed in a way that makes me want to do that all over again. What are you looking at? I tease him, pulling up my jeans and buttoning the top. You, he answers with a crooked grin. Before I have a chance to pull on my shirt, he grabs me around the waist, pulling me back against his chest, burying his lips in the curve between my shoulder and neck. I sigh and let my eyes flutter closed, enjoying the warmth of his arms. I want to do something, just the two of us, he whispers against my skin between kisses. Will you let me come over and cook for you tomorrow night? Oh my god, he could cook? You know how to cook? I tease him, learning on the nip of his teeth that makes me giggle to turn around to face him. I'm pretty good in the kitchen, smart ass. He says, placing a kiss on the tip of my nose. Oh, how cute. I bite down on my lip, but I've got zero chances of hiding the smile that breaks across my face. Okay, sure, I like that. I nod. Gray pulls me in close, slipping both of his arms around my waist. I snake my arms around his neck and blink up at him from beneath my lashes. I can hardly believe that the two of us have ended up like this, despite our past and the differences we've had to work through. And I'm definitely not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. But, like, are we together? I don't know. I don't know, guys. I need him to be like, I like you, I love you, you're my girlfriend. I don't know what happened there. I know we did the deed. But, like, are we just friends with bennies? Or are, like, we dating now? I need clarification. I need clarification. I need you to ask me to be your girlfriend. Just so I know that we're just not fling. Anyway, at least they told each other everything now. So that we're past that. We're now in the lovey-dovey stage. And the part where I need clarification if we're dating. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful. And I'll see you guys in the next one.